A gripping action scene in episode 6 of Reacher season 3 demonstrates how the planned Neagley spinoff will be very different from the main series. The Neagley spinoff on Prime Video is taking a huge risk by adding original tales to the brand, especially because Lee Child has never written any spinoffs for the original Jack Reacher books. Neagley has been the sole constant in the life of the title character since Reacher season 1. Even though Reacher doesn't often communicate with his former acquaintances, he constantly keeps Neagley informed and even asks for her assistance when needed. Similar behavior is depicted in Season 3 of the Amazon Prime Video detective series, as Reacher asks Neagley to examine the criminals' backgrounds while being part of a clandestine operation. He loves Neagley's knowledge from a distance but makes sure she doesn't directly participate in his objective. Reacher does her best to keep Neagley out of danger, but in Episode 6 of Season 3, the villains catch up with her. At this point, Reacher Season 3 hints at how Neagley's independent program will differ from the original series. Amazon's Reacher appears to depict traditional, campy battle scenes in the majority of its action sequences, with the protagonist typically using his fists. Jack Reacher frequently utters a single phrase or two before thrashing his adversaries to pieces, just like any other classic action hero. The Neagley segment in Reacher Season 3's Episode 6 adopts a more contemporary approach by eschewing an extravagant hand-to-hand fight between Neagley and the villains, rather than utilizing a similar action choreography. Unlike Jack Reacher, Neagley handles the situation more strategically by discreetly separating the villains as soon as she discovers that some intruders have entered her workplace. After that, she uses her gun to shoot them dead after luring them into her traps. The Neagley segment is more focused on accuracy and demonstrates how she makes use of her surroundings than Reacher's battle scenes, which are incredibly slam-bang and violently physical. It's also reasonable to argue that Neagley's action sequence has some similarities to the choreography in the John Wick films. Jack Reacher typically does not hesitate to dance with danger because of his size and strength advantage over the majority of his adversaries. Instead of attacking his foes strategically, he improvises along the road and plays with fire without hesitation. Neagley does not, as the 6th episode of Reacher Season 3 demonstrates. She carefully considers a situation from a distance before acting, rather than diving right in. Reacher uses his almost superhuman strength in battle, although his agility isn't exactly his strongest suit. As she hides beneath tables and deftly sets up one trap after another to fool the bad guys, Neagley, on the other hand, appears to be much more nimble and sharp around the edges. Neagley appears to have her own sense of humor, even if Jack Reacher often frequently cracks a joke or two while defeating his adversaries. In Episode 6 of Reacher's 3rd season, she tells a villain, "You're an ambulance," in response to his request that she call him an ambulance. It was difficult to avoid thinking of Neagley as a female Jack Reacher after the 2nd season of Reacher. The implication that the Neagley spinoff would be another adaptation of the same serial featuring a female star was worrisome. Fortunately, Reacher Season 3 demonstrates that, even though Neagley and Jack Reacher have many characteristics in common, she is distinct in her own right. She also became a much more realistic and less stoic character because of her emotional response to Russo's death in Season 2 and her wish to maintain contact with Reacher. The franchise seems to emphasize that Neagley's individual storylines will be more realistic rather than spectacular and extravagant like Reacher's, even with the action scenes in Season 3. This is encouraging for the future spin-off since it indicates that it will aim to forge its own identity rather than copy Reacher's concept. Reacher Season 3 offers promise that the Neagley program might be on level with, if not better than, its parent series, despite the fact that it is still venturing into a dangerous territory by adding an original plotline to Lee Child's universe. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.